Okay, we're here. Is there anybody here? I think I may have done this correctly. Peace. This is the Sunez Allah piece. This is the second week in a row that I've had to solo live stream. Got a couple of people in here, according to doing a knowledge to the stream number. There's a lot of things that I want to cover here. As soon as I get some people actually interacting with me and stuff like that, then I'll go through it. Because I want to go through some of the more basic things in this course, you know, trying to make it for the people that have never had this course before and things like that, and make it useful for them. So, you know, as soon as we start building that way, and then we can definitely do it. All right. All right. AP smells good. With that, you got a name with that? Besides that, it sounds kind of funny calling you that. Yeah, but again, the way I do this course, anyone can ask any questions, anything they have. I usually spend a little bit of time in the beginning letting people guide the way with certain questions that they have, and then I take a full throttle of how it should go. Let's pace yourself. Yeah, no problem. No one has to stay. Just like it is when we're in the law school and Mecca classroom, people are invited to stay as long as they can. The key is that you use this as a tool. So any of the things that you need, any things that you would like to know, this is the time to start building on them and asking those questions. First note, as a student, how do we understand the classroom? How do we understand the places that we have? And I spoke about this the last time as far as like the build. The way you should view where you work and where you study, and the type of classrooms that you engage in. That means that the teachers that you choose to deal with and those people that learn from, it should be a place of experimentation, right? And you get that from the build degree, right? Experimenting with high explosives. The scientists experiment with the high explosives. You have to see yourself a student as a scientist, someone that is experimenting with these high explosives and thinking, where can I bring new ideas? Where can I have the daring to innovate and yet not deceive the truths that I have not shown and proved yet in the preservation that I've been asked to do as a student, right? So it's two things a student is asked to do simultaneously. I'm just copying notes in the chat. You take them as you will. A student is asked to do two things simultaneously, right? That is, if the teacher's appropriate, right? They're asked to preserve the said truths. And I say said truths because you're a student. They are not proven to you. Whoever is logging on and saying, I logged on here and now I will get the proofs that the black man is God, who is the original man, etc., etc. I haven't proved anything. I haven't proved a damn thing. So, but the expectation of any student is to preserve the said truths. If you look throughout all the places of mentorship, guidance, learning, schools, classrooms, you're always asked to preserve something that they are about to impart on you, so you have a certain level of trust, right? But it is not mysterious because in this particular case, we don't believe a damn thing that we're being told until it is shown and proved, or we are shown the materials that showed and proved it for that teacher so that we could go show and prove it and then add on to it. And then the second one is with real learning, right? With real learning is to innovate. And I'll say innovate some kind of new path, not always a new path, but if it's in the creative endeavors, you know, a new path, a style, right? Or I'm trying to think of, you know, innovate a new path or a new proof. Because we're talking, our main teaching here is that we are teaching that the original man is God. And the thing is, though, what I don't like about this, it's what I don't like about this. I said the original man is God. I said the original woman is the earth. So now you, the student, are actually in an incorrect spot because of my confidence, maybe arrogance, maybe everything, you know, calmness, ease in the truth, the massive amount of proofs that we may put out already. It puts the student under the bind that they have to work backwards to prove something. Like you, the student is in debt to learn. And I will tell you that there is a debt that the student is in, that they're always learning something, but that's not the one. That isn't the one, right? Or a new proof to the said teaching. Right? So that's number 2, all right? And, you know, if you ever go to a law school, I never really have a blackboard like that. It's always written on. If I erase it, then I can never find the right marker. I find the marker, I lose it. It's just what it is, right? but that's the way it goes. But we're here till 10 o'clock, right? And when I teach, though, when I started teaching, I never advertised about my class. I never told anyone about my class. To the chagrin of my elders, the fact that I even share that this link is going live on social media is awkward to me. But there are many people that want to know about it, that were asking about it. You know, so you know what it ought to be, right? But going on with that, with the idea of the student. In this case, right? In this case of the idea of the student, they preserve said truths, they innovate, and they place brilliant elevation, right? You could rewind in the notes. I'm giving notes here for people to go back to. So brilliant elevation, you can go back and see these notes. But I said that there is an actual debt that the student is in the minute that is in once he is learning. Or, you know, is learning or better, has decided to learn. And a lot of people won't see it, but this, what I'm teaching here, is warriorship. I am not teaching feel-good stuff. I'm not teaching stuff so you feel good when you kick it to chicks. I'm not teaching this, though, so your shitty raps sound a little bit better now, okay? The brothers that kick it and drop knowledge in their bars, they already could rhyme before they knew a damn thing, okay? And by the time they learn this, though, they already were learning more, right? But the debt the student is in once he is learning, or better yet, has decided to learn under a field of tutelage. it sounds obvious, but the ever persistent acknowledgement. I'm gonna break this down. I just want to write it nice and brief and compact and everything, so it stays in your head, and then I can break it down. But the ever persistent acknowledgement of his ignorance, of the destruction, of the needing to destroy his her own ignorance. This is the debt that students don't know that they owe. All of us are students, so we all owe this shit. All of us, right? The reason I say this, right, is that when you're learning, you're not remembering that you don't know shit. People say they don't know shit and they're learning. But what you have to have is an ever persistent acknowledgement that you haven't known shit for too long. It's been too long. You've gone too long like this. Nothing that you learn, I want you to get out of your head, nothing that you learn, everything that you learn, actually, let's start from this place. Everything that you learn, you actually learn, like it goes in there. It's the right time. Let's change that again. Is the exact time that you should learn it. Everything that you learn is the exact time that you should learn it. Let's look at destiny stuff. Right? But everything you learn can never be proven to have been the right time to learn it. Let's look at it again. I'm going to say it here for the video. People that don't want to go in the chat, they don't want to read it, they don't want to see it. Right? I'm going to copy all this stuff and put it into my notes. Maybe I could put it in the description of the video as it goes in later. So I will open up my Peace course notes. Right? Notes. I'm writing notes, not looking. Right? So. All right, that worked. Okay, so now let's read that again. Everything that you learn is the exact time that you should learn it. Why is it exact? Because exact is a figure of mathematics. So when you actually learned it, though, it's always the exact figure. It is the correct figure, the correct moment. No one can calculate it at a different moment. So what? So what? Everything you learn can never be proven to have been the right time to learn it. And that's what I want you to get out of your head. You get knowledge later in life, or you get it at a certain time. It's never to say, well, this was the right time to get it, or anything like that. Right? When I got knowledge of self officially at the school, I was 23. Okay? Started teaching a few months after I turned 24. Right? So I could say I learned it at that is the exact time that I learned it. But to say that you learn, but to be able to prove that you learn things at the right time is bullshit. What I'm saying is this: you always, then what you are destroying in your learning is what I said before, the ever persistent acknowledgement of the needing to destroy your own ignorance. If everything is the okay right time, then you will have a cavalier way of learning. You will have a cavalier way of learning. And learning isn't just getting the knowledge. Learning is, as I define it, is this entire process, because a student of mine is not learned once they know something. They are learned once they know it, they use it, they see it, right? 1, 2, 3. And then now it is in the outside world as they show it as their culture, reveal its power over, and then bring themselves to an equality in position with that they have built with that knowledge, right? With that they have shared culturally with that knowledge. And then it reveals the fruit of a deeper reality of themselves, of who they are as the true and living, right? That's 7. And then they're able to build and destroy what was once there and build something anew, and then born something, right? If you start thinking about things and say that that was the correct time that that was the right time to learn things, it subconsciously gives you a cavalier attitude about when things ought to be learned. Well, I went through all this shit. I hear that all the time. I went through all these things, but I finally got it. Yeah, you did. But in your future learning, though, you were impairing your future learning by thinking that that was the right road by which you took. So are you to repeat that same way of thinking to learn more? See, this is the problem. So we have to adjust. We have to constantly adjust, and we can never be content, right? That's really what I mean. Okay, that's really what I mean, because one of the things I was teaching last session, and has been on my mind lately, is that mythologizing of the moments when we learn this. And the mythologizing and the mystifying, I should say. And it's why we could say an album like the Jay-Z and Jay Elect album seems to come at the right time, because it's the exact moment that most people are always at. It's always at the exact moment people are always at. They were always at the exact moment, right, of saying everything comes at this right time. I needed this, or it was destined, and they're perfectly primed for the literature and the arts of destiny. You see? And that's the joy of destiny, because destiny is always about to be fulfilled. Destiny is glamorous, though. It never is going to be fulfilled. And when it is fulfilled, it is in the process of fulfilling, so it never has to be complete, right? So we want to demystify that religiosity in that respect, right? We absolutely want to demystify that in that respect, right? Okay, right now I'm just clicking. I want to share this on the Twitter world, the link, so that way people are reminded that the session is 5. Okay, I'm going to look in the comments right now to see if anyone has left me. Okay, the comments are filled with my notes. Let's transfer these notes. Here's why I go a little bit slow, because I start out with a charge, and I don't know if people are really ready, or if they're ready yet in this case. But again, any questions about anything? Okay. When they say that there are no stupid questions, that isn't really true. But as I learn of the students, though, then those become more apparent. For everyone here that I don't know, it doesn't mean that I don't know who's here. It doesn't mean that your questions are wrong or anything like that. I would have to know what you know to even say something like that. Right? Firstborn Prince used to really bomb people if he knew that the question that you were asking was something that you could solve on your own. But if people have been in my class over the years, and over these last 20 years, then they know that I am far less cruel than the Firstborn Prince. I'm probably the polar opposite. Hugh Boyd. Peace. A newborn in need of my mathematics. All right. The email to contact me I am putting up, I am saying many times, Sunez97gmail.com. I am behind in my emails. Some of the people that emailed me last week, I haven't been able to get back to all of them. Let me see if I can scroll down in this email and even find them. Let's see if I can. I know there were some emails that I missed last week. Okay, yeah, I did miss. I know I missed Supreme Allah. I don't know if you're online, Supreme Allah. I will get that out to you. Thank you, Sean Love. Okay. All right, we're gonna go back to Hugh Boyd in a second and go around. Let me read these things. Is the right time to learn something not the right time it is learned? Here's what I mean by that, right? Because what I said was also a philosophical. I ended up making a philosophical puzzle here, but let's deal with the concept of right and exact. And the way I'm using right and exact in this case, though, is right and exact. Exact as a figure of mathematics. Okay? Exact as a figure in mathematics. Right as in something that had to be. You see, it's so much more subjective. Let's be honest, though. Let's take out the mystification of certain terms and dialect that we use. Right. It is right. Right is perception. Okay? Right is perception. It is what you think is right. Okay? All right? All right. Okay, that's Peace Boy. I'm glad that you gave me your email. Let me hold on here. This is an interactive class. So what I'm expecting out of you, Boyd, is not to give me your email, but you to email me. Okay? I'll repeat this constantly through. This is a digital class, though, even when we are at the school. So materials and books and papers and all these are all transferred digitally, and I expect you to contact me and harass me. Okay? That's why, Supreme, if I don't get back to you in a timely manner, please get at me and remind me, okay? That is acceptable to me. That is what I want to see. This is how I got knowledge. I was always harassing knowledge me. And every week I was always bothering and looking through and asking questions to savor knowledge about what books and how to use these books and what we do, you know? See, he's one. See, we know what we know when we're supposed to know it. But when I say that it isn't always the right time, is because right is based on perception. When we say perception is something that is right, what we're also doing is saying that, well, I did all of these wrong things to go roundabout and all of these incorrect things, and now that I got it, though, it was right. And what happens in most minds, and I am telling you do not take it anecdotally as in your experience, take this anecdotally as my experience teaching hundreds of people. Not my anecdotal experience as an individual learning, but as my anecdotal experience teaching hundreds. When someone says that they learned something at the right time, they are often psychologically tuning themselves out to all the incorrect that they did, and that they just barely got lucky to actually get that knowledge. And that they were lucky. I'm deliberately using a mysterious word to describe something that has been mystified. Okay? What is it right or was it just lucky? Because if we're going to use mystical words, let's use the word the right one and say lucky. Because right is a perception. Okay? Someone could learn something 3 years late and really learn it well. That's not really learning. And we say it's the right time, though, but what happens is that particular thing will be right and exact because it has to be. It is exact, so it has to be. But their mindset continuing on may continue that self-pedagogy, that way of learning in their own life. And that's the problem, okay? That's what I'm trying to point out here. It's a specific thing. It's a mentality I'm talking about, okay? All right. Now back to the newborn, Hugh Boyd. And assume that you don't know anything about this, okay? If you want, you could give me some detail. I hate, in the classroom, I usually ask people where they're at, what did they learn, how did they learn about this? And that's why I gave you my email, because you might want to do that offline, okay? But I like to know where a student's coming from, not assume what I think that they ought to know, even if they say that they're a newborn, okay? I need to get to know you and learn about you, okay? I am teaching individuals, though, not teaching just bulk people, even though a bulk of people may learn things from what I am sharing here, okay? Yeah, but what I'm going to share now, though, is, and it'll be useful for Hugh Boyd, right? I don't exactly know how it is that you came to get the knowledge. What is it that you were doing? What sparked you? How many gods you knew? Where you from? You see how there's so many things that I don't know. There's so many things that I could assume that would be incorrect, right? Or not as relevant, you know, if I'm talking to you, right? But one thing that every beginner should know, because other people that aren't beginners though, is know a quick fast forward history of how we came to be. And with all these Muslim gods out there, it becomes something that becomes more important to teach as we teach it. When a student comes in and I give him a history, and some of the people like Bourne has already heard me say this, so he has been there while I have taught it this way. A quick history of what you walked into, or what you, in this case, streamed into, right? Peace Master. And the Master would know this too. So, and I went through it with him. They walked into, and what you clicked into right here. Our history begins. The easiest way to begin our history is not where the truth of it begins. The original man is God, because then that truth would be endless, it's timeless. So we start with those people that carried it here and brought it into a field of study that we use today, meaning field of study, and as I refer to the 120 lessons, right? So when we start this history, we start immediately. The most easiest from the Nation of Islam, and we go back. So we know that. So it goes back all the way to what the Nation of Islam teaches of their beginnings. And I say this because some of this cannot be proven, unless you're dogmatic and you're in the Nation of Islam. Then you automatically believe this stuff, and I could give a goddamn about belief or anything like that. I just want to give you a perspective, because what NOI believes also shapes how we have constructed our refusal to believe certain things, and all things. Okay, all things, but in this case, certain things. Okay. Mm-hmm. Supreme scientist, peace God. Mm-hmm. Supreme scientist looking in. There's a brother that certainly doesn't need anything I have to tell him. Probably should be streaming and teaching folks himself. The When I give that succinct, quick history of the Nation of Islam, I start with what they teach, and what they teach is it started with a man named Alfonso Muhammad. Alfonso Muhammad was a black. He was very dark. He could not migrate to America in the late 1800s, right? And at that time, though, like usually, sometimes I go off in a tangent about America not letting in any kind of darker shades, and even certain white ethnics. Okay, so the mixed breed, the hoping to pass at that time and unsuccessfully at that moment, the Italians, the Sicilians, right, the Southern Italians, the whites in the low end of the totem pole, like the Irish. These are all people that were just barely getting into the United States of America. Okay? These are the times that Alfonso Muhammad absolutely knows that he can't migrate to America. Okay? Right? You've never seen black or brown people at Ellis Island. Okay? Never seen them. But Alfonso Muhammad needed to find a way so he could actually get into America to teach this, what was Islam, the history, the original peoples, humanity, and so on and so forth, right? So, and it's supposed to be a fast forward history. So what he does is that he mates with a white woman, and to bear him a child that would be suitable, so that would be light skinned enough to pass for white, and be able to learn all of these things that he wants. So he conveniently has a lighter skinned male child who actually is basically a, you know, a genius, you know. That's Peace, God. The wrong word is coming into my head, though. Give me a minute, though. I want to get that word because from here I can write it down in there. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that word. Okay, yeah. So basically he was a polymath. You know, Fard Muhammad was a polymath, the son of Alfonso Muhammad and this white woman, right? And he teaches him in the science, the science, histories of the world, languages. He can speak many languages, right? Many of them. And he travels to America. Just for white, disguised as a silk peddler in Detroit, starts to teach the truth of Islam to people, collects students, amasses them, and one student, lo and behold, realizes that it is his teacher himself, Fard Muhammad, that is Allah himself. That particular student was, what we can show and prove is Elijah Poole, someone that we can show and prove had a third grade school education and was the son of a preacher. So this is important because then we could say what he had to get some kind of frame of reference and knowledge to actually propel, right? To actually learn more. So Elijah Muhammad, because he realizes this truth, that Fard Muhammad is Allah himself, you know, there's this truth that, like he said, he was Allah, and he was like, yeah, I am. How'd you know? But he starts to teach him exclusively, right? And he teaches him how to build a nation. This is important because even if this is all not verifiable, we can verify that someone taught him how to build institutions, how to extend them, how to bring them, how to evangelize on a larger network than his father, who was a preacher, right? He'd have to network on a larger scale. And then actually set up shop in different states, right? So now, once we have all of this, Elijah Muhammad is taught exclusively, right, a special way, and solo for a couple of years. Fast forward, Fard Muhammad teaches him to be the messenger of Allah himself, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, though, and he would build a nation, and he leaves. Fard Muhammad leaves, disappears, right? Q, Mothership Connection, Q, Funkadelic, Parliament. Supposed to come back, I don't know when, but at least we have some good theme music to wait for it. Elijah Muhammad builds this nation of Islam. Elijah Muhammad then builds it, and he has many students. You have to give up an X in order to get involved into it, right? You also have to write a letter to get an X. You have to be part of the nation of Islam. You are a Muslim, meaning one who submits to the will of Allah, who came in the person of Master Muhammad. It does not matter. This is for the Muslim Goddery because it becomes a thing. The etymology of Muslim is really irrelevant. Just like the etymology of a lot of words is irrelevant. Because the reason for that is because it doesn't matter what Islam was teaching. All the different sects of Islam were teaching. It mattered what Elijah Muhammad was telling those Muslims, right? So we go here quickly, right? In the online, which is the etymology dictionary, right? Online etymology dictionary. Muslim is one who submits to the faith from the root as lama, he resigned, right? So, right? To a faith, right? Mystery shit. But it's different. Instead of an entity that cannot be defined, he's teaching that and looks totally Caucasoid. Okay, let's say, right? He light-skinned it, but he look real. He don't look. He don't look. You don't pass for original unless you really know, right? It's important. As a side note to those that have learned longer, Elijah Muhammad and the strategy of the Nation of Islam was not teaching just the truth. They were evangelizing aspects of a truth in order to trade, have you trade and barter the institution of Christianity that was vital to existence. Let me say this though before it sounds like blasphemy. Vital to existence for the average 85, for the average blind, deaf, and dumb person, the average citizen, and replace it with an institution that had a more conscious reality. So, Elijah Muhammad battling institutions, he can give you food, he can give you shelter, he can give you a network, he can give you that guidance. All of those things are what really were keeping many people into Christianity, even if they were logically torn away from the belief in Jesus on a stick, a white man on a stick with the needle fitted and all that kind of stuff, right? And that emaciated white man had to have not made any sense to countless original people. But this is what they had, this is what they dealt with though, and when so many people believe something, it makes you think that you realizing you don't know everything, that they might be right. Okay? And that's why I said before, the two things of a student. And that's why we deal with the young, because the things of a student are to preserve what has been given to you as a teaching and to innovate something new about the teaching, meaning to prove it further or to even disprove it. And of course, that second part is what most people teach, because nobody wants a student to disprove a teaching, right? That would be not what they want, right? So, out of the many students that he has, one of them becomes Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X, right? Malcolm Little becomes Malcolm X, right? We fast forward, and after a certain individual, Clarence Smith, comes back from the Korean War, and he is extremely well decorated, and I didn't realize how impeccably decorated he was until I saw all those medals. You know, when the Allah School in Mecca was had the street renaming, and I actually saw with my physical eyes the amount of medals and honors that Allah the Father received in war, and it was it blew me away. It's something when you really see it, though. It's something else when you see it. But when we think about it like that, and then now we take it, we go back to Clarence Smith. Clarence Smith comes back from the war, well decorated. He sees his wife. His wife is already Nation of Islam, so he goes to a meeting to check it out. If he likes it, he likes it. He goes in, and fast forward to now, he causes rebellion because he does not agree with the finality of the teaching. They do have a teaching. So who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. I had to take a pause because I don't quote it like that. Right? They didn't have father of civilization. Right? Now, he's looking at this and he's dealing with it logically, and he's saying that if the original man is God and I'm the original man, and the original man is the black man and the black man is God, and I'm the black man, that means I'm the original man, that means that I am God. Basic logic of putting things together, he's saying that he's the true and living God now. This caused problems, this caused discord, especially with his now teaching method of just telling people directly this truth. You know, what an easy idea. Let's just tell people this thing straight up. You know what I mean? Which is totally nuts. Right? It is totally nuts. Okay? But once he does that, let me see online, because I think some people may be asking me online whether we are online. Right? Okay. So everything is all right. We're back to Clarence Smith. Mm-hmm. So once he realizes that his teaching is going against what they're teaching, he declined. He just leaves. That's really the end of it. There are a lot of things that he did that were different that he would have gotten in trouble for, but he decides he just leaves. And eventually, he says that he's the true and living God. He's Allah himself. And a certain amount of people leave with him, a couple of people, and he starts to teach. He finds that his most worthy person to teach, though, is the youth. So he starts to teach the youth. Okay? The babies are the greatest, though. And if we go back to what I said about the students, they are the best type of student. He needed those to preserve what is true, but also the daring to innovate new ideas, new truths. Okay? The perfect student, the youth. Okay? They do not have the preconceptions. They do not have the things that they protect, right? And so it's not only that they can be molded, but they can be directed to show and prove themselves. I'm going to say that again. People talk about the youth being great students because they can be molded. But you're a bad teacher if that's what you're doing with this knowledge, and you are molding young to be something. You are not to be molding youth to be anything. You are directing youth to go challenge themselves to see if the truth that you present is correct. And that's hard to get, because we're out there going, we need more gods and earths, we don't need a damn thing. We don't need nation of gods and earths. We don't need anything. Nothing is necessary. We don't need anything. Okay? This nation doesn't need a damn thing. It needs everyone that's already in it to learn. It needs everyone to present things to the world via teaching, sharing truths. That's what I mean by teaching. Or presenting them in creative endeavors and with creations. Doesn't need you to go evangelize out there. Okay? Doesn't need you to go evangelize out there and do any of that. Okay? That's the incorrect notion. Okay? We're not out there to filter the world and start telling everybody what the hell we're doing. We're there to teach the people sincerely. And if not, then we haven't been sincere ourselves. Now, we go back to, does anybody have any questions? This was particularly for Hugh Boyd, right? I see in my email, I don't see, see, I do see an email from Hugh Boyd, okay? Good. Okay, that's peace. You're from Bed-Stuy, Hugh Boyd. As short as your email, you could have just written that here. And, I usually you can leave the emails to if you have a long sermon. But if I may ask you, how old are you, Hugh? I always like to know how old brothers are. But I won't wait till Hugh Boyd answers us. We'll go back to him and see if he catches on. And again, if anybody has any questions about anything, a lot of the stuff now that I'm going to be talking about a lot has to do with how we are focusing now. Again, what I am teaching is a warriorship. These class sessions are good, and they seem to, technically, they are useful for those who are just learning, they don't know. But the truth is, the way I see it, is that for the student that has been with me a long time, it is really to focus them, to reignite them, to get it in their head that what I've been teaching is what we have to be living right now. Peace, self-magnet. And the perfect thing for the student that I have now, that I've had that I have ever had is that they start to use the things that I have taught them. An important idea is this, right? Let's go through these bullet points. I have a whole bunch of bullet points that I put out there. Let me go back. I don't want to lose the notes that I have been writing here, so bear with me a little bit. Okay, so all the bullet points I wrote so far. I am using the live chat as a blackboard, but that particular blackboard, once this is over and it's online regular, I will put all those bullet points in a more cohesive form to read inside the thing. I've always found that, and to be honest, I found that the thing that, in general, if I can say one thing that all of my students have done not as good as they could, is be good note takers. So now with the stream, which I'm going to do now, is really let you cheat and be good note takers. But this is going to be 3 hours, and I can tell you, I'm not going to, 3 hours is a long time. Now, I don't know who I remember telling this to, but I said last session that we did, which was on FB, and then I put it here. If you didn't get to watch it though, the last class session is online as well in the channel's videos. They all can be useful to go back and do the knowledge to things. I said to find me a righteous billionaire, and I often harp on Jay-Z a lot, and a lot of that is due because I was covering him. I've been covering hip-hop music since 1994, professionally since 1996. So, right, so that would be, right, so almost, about a quarter century doing this, right? And what I found, everything that had been critical about him as far as business moves, as far as dilution of the culture, dilution of the music, all of these things have always been thrown by the wayside. But it's not just with Jay-Z, but a larger question, because we tend to make excuses because be in the bracket of original man, okay? There is no such thing as a righteous billionaire. There's no way that you can amass them out doing some form of devilishment. Not in the economies that have existed since this has been taking place, okay? To be a billionaire is to hoard that much wealth. You actually actively have to hoard this amount of net worth. It cannot be done righteously. And that's why I put it on the people to find that, okay? What we see, though, is really in the history of the Carnegies, the history of the Rockefellers, and on and on. We've gone on. I just mentioned famous ones, or should I say infamous ones, is a hoarding of wealth through robber baroning, through corruption of the same fields and industries that they were in, and then a philanthropy at the end, though, to mark their name in the society that they have now technically come to own. Okay? And this is what we need to learn about economies and what we need to learn about business. U.S. democracy doesn't have dictators and it doesn't have czars. Okay? But their place is certainly held in there in the name of billionaires. Okay? If you think otherwise, though, then you're fooling yourself and waiting for your big payday. Okay? Sad to hear that. But that was the assignment last week, to find me a righteous billionaire. It sounds like an easy assignment, though, but it isn't, though. Okay? You know, technically, if you were really doing this assignment, you'd also know that I gave you a perspective of concept. So technically, you could fuddle this, though, and say some crazy off-the-wall shit that I would hate. Because words like righteousness, words that we use, right? Righteousness. It's another word that we use. I guess today is the theme of right, even though we're not in the love, hella right day. But understand that those words are subjective. Okay? Anybody listening right? Subjective. Okay? And a biased perception of that individual. Okay? One of the most degrees in 120, right? Breaking it down now. Sixth degree, right? Sixth degree. Right? Word nothing. Another word that is subjective. There is no such thing as nothing. Not in that context. Okay? Okay. When we think about what is right and what is righteous, though, I need you to think about what makes something righteous. What makes something right and exact. See? The point of saying, remember, nobody says that but the gods. We go, that was right and exact. No one says that but us, though. Why do we call exact with right? Because right is a subjective term. It is based on bias, your perception of what you think is right. Okay? Indeed. Right. Nothing in comparison to the original man, right? If we were to say that, though, right? But it still has to be compared to something, right? Nothing always has to be compared to. It's always in contrast to something, so it always can be flipped. It can fluctuate however you use the word, right? When we decide what it is contrasted with, then we get to a definitive answer. You know? Mm-hmm. So that becomes a problem. Because there's a lot of, a lot of our language, though, to me, I find gets too mysterious. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, that was cool, though, because if I read it all in a row, say, which is the Asiatic madman? Yeah. Sometimes we are mad, but I know it was the Asiatic man, right? The Asiatic black man, right? Now, the who is the original man, Hugh Boyd? The original man comes in the black, brown, yellow shade. Okay, the black peoples, those who call brown peoples, those who call yellow peoples. Okay, the Africans, Latinos, Native Americans, right? Okay, those are the original people. There's no higher order because all of those genes that make up the phenotypes of those three peoples are already within the original man, right? Okay. They are already within the original man. Okay. Just like the 30th degree in the 1 to 40, right? In the black man's body, there exist two germs, right? One a black germ, one a brown germ. Okay? This is something that I always repeat. It bears repeating when I talk about the original man. The original man is made up of two germs, aka genes, the black and the brown. Okay? That's the original man. This here, this is not the original man. Black gene, brown gene. Not the original man. Black man is made up of all these, okay, together. To graph the original man, you have to separate them and then destroy. You destroy in a particular order of what? Knowledge, then wisdom, then understanding. Black, then brown, then yellow. Okay? But what destroys them is the separation of the germ. This is what destroys them. Okay? They are no longer the same once they are separated. It is finalized once you destroy the black. Okay? The problem is that when people take it, they forget. They take Yakub making the devil in the larger the larger consensus of the broad population. You see? So they take they take the simple understanding to only see it as the large populace. The large populace of black and brown being separated. Blacker, the black shade and then the brown shade being separated. But the truth is, within, it says here, I'll say, within the black man's body there exist two germs. Two germs within that original black man's body. So we talk about the individual, that is what we are really separating. Okay? The physical separation of the phenotypically shaded black and brown is a way to what? Psychologically and physically engage that concept of separating that individual. Okay? And if we want to talk about importance, then you tell me what's more important. Right? Your stronger legs or your weaker limbs. Okay? It is that much of a difference there. Okay? So now, nobody did the homework assignment or did it since I asked for a homework assignment. That's okay. I gave one that wasn't supposed to be accomplished though. I gave like a dissertation. So if you gave a righteous billionaire, you would have to go through a whole spectrum and things like that, you know? I guess you could start by reading Michael Eric Dyson's book on Jay-Z though, because that is one hagiography. If I've ever read one, you know? But that's what Dyson does though. He makes hagiographies, you know, people. You know? He makes the rudimentary cleverness, which is very good, but it's rudimentary with respect to the greatest MCs ever, and catapults it to an astronomical level, and then solidifies the proof though with his income. Right? Sounds good to me. But if you want to prove Jay-Z or anyone else is a righteous millionaire, I would say start reading Dyson's book, because that's what he's attempting to do. You know? So even then, I give you some research too. Right? What was the name of that book? Let's see. I'll give you the name of the book. I'm reading it now, but I can't read it in a row. I have to read it like I can only literally read it like 10 pages a week because it grosses the hagiography up. It's bothersome. Bothers shit out of me. But all right. Let me know. Let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. All right. Let me know where you're at so I can continue with the curriculum. That includes Hugh. That includes everybody that's here. Give me a shout. What are you doing? Are you watching covertly to see what Sunez is doing? A little note though. I love to do my show, my Kobe plaque, and my brother Manny got me my Kobe plaque that's up there because Kobe's top 5 favorite player for me. Really rounds out that top 5. But I had thought of this mentality, the Mamba mentality, as a hashtag, and I started to say, keep on building everywhere. Right? It just stuck in my head. You know what I'm saying? It just stuck in my head because one of the great things. Let's piece you. Okay, this will be online, and you can check it whenever you need to. Right? But I had said. Let's see here. Make this. All right. But one of the things I like the student, if you study ball players or anything like that, you can enjoy all of them. Right? One of the things I love studying about Kobe is not so much though that he was able to teach or show a resilience because his so-called Mamba, his self-called, a very potent Mamba mentality was not something he originated as far as like living that out. I mean, we have Jordan, his mentor, we have so many others, you know, that were clutch and gamers when it mattered most, like another favorite, Isaiah Thomas for me, right? And many others, right? The thing is, for us though, as we pride ourselves as pro-righteous teachers, right, is that Kobe had a really great way of being able to transmute that mentality from sports to other things, right? And again, you know, when people are learning with me, they know how anti-capitalist I am, though, and how I abhor capitalism, and I'm always speaking about those that capitalism is based on. The asset is the mind and body of the original people, right? So capitalism, right, is a system that directs fruitfully the galaxy, right, of, I just don't want to say racism, because if we know the science of the devil, we know that he was made, we know that he was made weak and wicked. So I'll just say inevitable racism. Inevitable racism. And then just to make it simple, the inevitable bloodsucking, because being, you know, weak, right, is more prone to wickedness. So these are really a logical conclusion. Alright? But anyway, saying all that though, the reason I'm mentioning capitalism is because when you look at Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, right? So write that book down the right way. That's not a hard book to find online. When you look at Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill has one concept that is very, I guess, esoteric, even metaphysical, that, you know, he talks about, and that is transmutation. Right? I'll give you a technical definition of transmutation. Technical definition of transmutation is, right, is the action, as I just looked it up now, I can tell you, the action of changing or the state of being changed into another form. One of his major strategies, and this is useful to us right now, it's always going to be useful because it's not a monetary concept. It's one that he used, right? The idea of transmutation is the idea of, in the way he described it, is if your energy is involved to do something else that is not as fruitful or cannot be done at that moment, then what you do is you take that energy and then reapply it to something else. In obviously in Napoleon Hill's case, you would apply it to using your mentality to think of monetary schemes and financial planning, etc., etc. Right? You know, whatever. Right? So this transmutation, though, as a teacher in one field, being able to teach that mentality to other fields is literally what Kobe was able to do. So one of the great teachers. You know, he's somebody to study. And his Mamba Mentality book is actually a book that I would love everybody to read. I will get the exact title of it. Okay? Let me copy down some of these next notes. I mean, if you want an actual long biography, I think Roland, is it Roland Lays? Yeah, Roland Lazenby, his book Showboat is a very good book to start with. Very big, 500 plus page book to start with. If you really want to know about Kobe's life, that I think does him justice, you would start with that as a biography, that will give you a lot of, you know, if you're interested in his life. But if you're interested in the particular aspects of his Mamba mentality, the way he played, all of those things of that nature, then you definitely want to get this book. And of course, this would be first to get this book, the Mamba mentality. Right? That's what you'll be doing. You know? And I should have that book. Again, this class is digital, so the books, there are books that I give you, there are plus lessons that I give you, along with, if you become a student under the study, getting 120 mathematics alphabet 120 lessons, you want to go through it under the, you know, want to go through that study with me, then, you know, you can, and I would give you all of these books and everything like that. But you definitely would want to get that Mamba mentality book and other books. And as we go along, though, I always ask all the students, if there's really a book you'd like, you know, ask me. I might have it. Okay? And if I don't have it, at least you checked. All right? Okay. All right. I'm going to take just a couple of moments here. If anybody has anything that they would like to ask, as I copy notes, that way I can transfer them after we are done. Anybody to ask me questions, check in. And mind you, if you check in and you're watching this and you check in, if you don't tell me anything, then I can't teach you directly, okay? I can't answer the things directly, because there still might be things that I know that I think you should know, or that I think you are ready to know, and that could change it. All right. Hey, peace room. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed. You know, I mean, yeah, and you know, it doesn't mean that anything that if someone says, "Oh shit, that's right and exact," it doesn't mean that it's wrong or that you're not all the way there. It means it's right and exact. Again, I teach a lot about the mentality as a student. Okay, mostly everyone will see me as a teacher, but I'm not a teacher. I am a student that is sharing things constantly. It's only the amount of time that I've been doing this that I become a teacher. Every time I learn something, I never say it's right the moment that I got it. It's right and exact the way I had to get it, because it's exact, it's mathematical. But it is right. What is right is my perception. What is right, though, is all of the criticisms and real analysis of how I got that information. You see? Because someone could take millions and millions of L's to learn something. Let's say we took this on to martial art training, and there's a move that I'm not learning correctly on how to block on this side, and I'm blocking correctly, and that kick is coming. Well, I could get knocked out a couple of times, and then I finally get it. I said, yo, I finally got it right and exact. But I got like 2 or 3 concussions already. So to me, my mentality shouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm learning in a right and exact as far as a right timeline. I'm consistently learning in the right timeline. Nah, I'm learning terribly when it comes to that. My timeline is horrible, you know? And we have to think of these things. We have to not be content with the manner by which we learn things and when we learn things. Because now you turn it mystical. Everything that you learn, everything that you do is destiny. It always had to happen at this moment. That's good. You know, that's good for selling it. That's good for kicking it to chicks, all that kind of stuff. It was destiny. You know what I mean? But that doesn't work when you're really being a student and trying to analyze how fast or how well the quality by which you are learning something, you know? So that's what, and this is why when the older gods taught us, when they couple us, is not only right, but right and exact. Because now we have to work on also not just the proof of its mathematics, though, but coupling it to it being a right actual method, a right actual method. We got the knowledge, we used it, it finally became learning that can be utilized and become part of the culture. But was it in a timeline that we want to reproduce again when we learn again? You know? When we knowledge add on a cipher, when we add on a cipher to that knowledge, are we going to do it in the same way? And of course, though, a lot of the answers to that are usually and should be no. You know? So, absolutely. You know? And that's what I mean. But, yeah, peace to infinite mind, Rome Streets, appreciate you, God. Kerr, all right, my brother Albert, all right, great artist Albert. But I want to go through these bullet points just to see where we're at, for what I could throw out there to people that's never really been in my class. Okay. Anybody that's ever walked on my class, so there were 3 things that I tell them though, and I will tell you these things and write them down. 3 things. Any new person. And this is a cipher, so it'll be the same thing. Mm-hmm. The first is, right, it may not happen with everyone else though, but this is probably, I want you to finally overtly look and see that you are deciding who it is that teaches you at all times. Okay. Teaching you, learning from. I wrote that all wrong, so let me fix this up. Verify who is teaching you and what it is learning from. This is both the same at the same time. That means this. You have to have questions for who it is that's teaching you. And for everyone that comes to my classroom, I want you to use me as the first person to ask these questions to verify. Is he well learned? Is he ready to teach this? Can he teach? What do I need from a teacher? You should know these things. You should be thinking about these things. And know this. This is the lesson from this. You are always making this decision. Okay? By what you remember, what you decide to remember, or what you remember by default. Meaning the things that you don't want to remember, but you still remember that shit anyway. You know, so when you were in school saying fuck a school lecture, the lies got me vexed, you still was learning some shit. You know what I mean? Okay? And you were making the choice whether to learn or not. This is a point. You have to be conscious of these things because you have to learn how you learn. So that you are not fooled by who or what you are learning from. But if you come to get knowledge yourself and then you get bloodsucked here too, right? What a legendary L that would be, you know? Okay. This takes time. This is why I say have your own journal. Have your own thing that you're writing about how you see things. The books that you're reading, write about the books that you're reading, the things that you write. Okay? All right, peace one. Glad that you could finally make the class. All right? Let me find out. I'm not saying you won, but people are like, I finally get to attend though, and he was living like just 10 minutes from the school and shit. But, you know, that's how it is. But I'm not saying you won. I just thought of that. That would be funny. But that first one is so important. It's why I say these three things, because sometimes in a classroom we have people there and no one's taking notes. Hopefully that they would remember some of this shit. If not, remember that. Okay? The second thing is this, right? Always be developing the next question, which if we were to take grades here in this classroom, it might not be working for everyone. Always be developing your next question. Okay? It sounds simple enough, right? But to know what you don't know is important. Okay? You have to do that much research at least, though, to really guide yourself. Okay? The truth is that you didn't just bang, most people don't just bang into the classroom. They didn't just trip and fall into a law school in Mecca. Some of them did. They got pulled out. They got heard something. They got pulled in. But for the most part, they're thinking something. They are rejecting something. They're making questions in their head that are finally being formulated of what they have been seeing all their life, though, of religiosity, of the mystery, of the way we put emphasis on things that we cannot see, and all these things. So say always be developing your next question, because then you will now in doing this, I capitalize that so you know there's a particular sentence. In doing this, you are now actually having to show and prove what it is you think you know. In other words, your next question is no good. Your next question you make is no good if it's based on things that are not true. So you have to make sure that your next question that you ask about what you don't know and what you would like to learn, that what you think you know is actually true. And that's why knowledge itself is such a rewind state of mind. That's why I actually have a journal. Know where you're at. Know what led you to get this knowledge. Know what your mentality was when you were getting this. And this is hard because you have knowledge for a long time. You're not going to remember the mentality. Okay? So you have to be able to articulate. Be able to articulate. Right? Put into words the things you know. And also the things that you do know, you have to articulate things you do know, and also what you right? Sometimes it starts as simple as what you would like to know. Do not think of it as frivolous. Okay? Why do you want to know those things that other people may find frivolous or unimportant? Okay? Not necessary. If you're not developing your next questions, then you pale. You're pale. Like, I just leave it like that. You're pale in stream. But you are hardly, you pale in comparison to a true definition of what a scientist is. Okay? A scientist is not marked by their answers. Okay? The depth and greatness of a scientist is not marked by their answers. And I will add scholar as well, you know? So I want you to let you know that a scientist is really a scholar as well. They're a thinker. Okay? You're thinking just lab coats and shit like that. Right? Marked by the answers, but by the broadness, detail, and strength of their questions. Okay? Okay? So Rakim says the question and the answer, the DJ the dancer, the answer is question. Right? That is more important. Okay? The third thing is this. Okay. Okay, I'll stop before I get three. Let's read one. On the topic of learning by experience, this looks like a global reset of the economy, but also introducing even less human contact among ourselves. You know, when you look at it that way, Juan, yes, it seems like that, but I think that right now we are putting too much genius, okay, on idiots. Okay, right? I'm gonna write it here. The more you study white history, the more foolery and sloppiness you will uncover. It is a history of folly and foolery. Trying to think another F word. I said foolery already. But yeah, it's a history of folly. History of ever common thing failure. It is the original man that has reset civilization. Okay, when they're left to their own, though, they get scientists in the lab and they say, "Build me an atomic bomb." Okay, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea about the depth and impact of what they are doing. And to think that this whole coronavirus, though, is, you know, really their stratagems gone astray or they're rebooting. No, what you're seeing is people constantly rebooting, and we just think that they're making sense out of it, though, because and logically, you know, on that level of logic, um, the the history has always been our downfall, our oppression, and all of that. However, understand, bloodsucking is a tough science. Bloodsucking has to be rehearsed live. They have so much weakness manifesting into wickedness. They fail at this. They even kill their own. Okay? Alright? Good bloodsucker keeps the host alive, okay? There's no mosquito that's just gonna bloodsuck you forever, okay? You know, it seems like it, right? So now, the third thing. The third thing, if you remember nothing, if you just watch this and never watch it again, because these three things are things you would do in your whole life, in your interactions. Bathe yourself of belief. Simple, but not so simple. We assume all the time, nearly all the time, that once we have knowledge of self, right, that we don't have any beliefs anymore. Shit, the way people say the original man is God, yell out when something that has nothing to do with the conversation goes, the black man is God. Black man is God. The way that we yell those things out, though, as a finality for things that is totally irrelevant for, shows that we still have lots of beliefs. You know what I mean? And it's whack. It's corny if these teachings are really just self-help teachings to help people believe in themselves. Because they got a lot of sappy music out there that help you do the same thing. Okay? All right? In fact, we could probably YouTube that. We could YouTube, right? We could say shitty music, shitty upliftment music, shitty upliftment music. Let's see. Yeah, look. I got uplifting music. Not that bad after all. The Miles Revolution. Oh, this shit came up. Jai, a shitty love song. Get shit done music list. See? You know, like, oh man, that's messed up. I got Michael Jackson Man in there. Okay, now that's just wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's too bad right there. But when I say bathe yourself in belief, understand this, right? Mathematics means knowledge. According to mathematics, knowledge is infinite. Right? Knowledge is infinite. Why? Because mathematically, we get to knowledge. 10. Cipher is the form that allows all to be infinite. So what was always here will always go through that. In other words, knowledge, man, will always be what? In his creation, because he is always creating creation. So then, right? When I say bathe yourself in belief, what I mean is this. Understand that as you are constantly learning, though, there is always something. There's always something that you are basing a large part of your working life, meaning daily things. That's what I mean by working life, right? That is based more on belief than actual knowledge. It's just the way it is. Okay? Because we don't know. Okay? Some people put on clothes, they don't know where it's from. They don't know what it's made out of. They don't know what the fabrics are. Most of us don't know where particular fabrics in the history of how these fabrics were made, right? Other people know everything about it because that's what they care about, right? My low-life brothers and sisters. The first thing, for example, though, that is most important is the thing that goes inside your body that you carry with you. It isn't things you love, like your children, right? But it's actually the food you eat. Most of us aren't reading any other labels. We aren't reading any other things. And so we don't know anything that's going on in there. We think it's okay. We think we'll eat it in moderation. We only eat a little bit. It'll be fine. But that is now, we are engaging in activity that is based on belief. Okay? This is a huge problem. Okay? Give me 1 second. I'm just pasting more notes from the chat. When I say bathe yourself in belief, I want you to always be looking at your life and seeing what is it that you're doing that you know the most least about and that is necessary. Okay? I use diet because usually diet is the thing that we all have to eat, and sometimes we don't really know what it is that we're eating. So this is where you would begin. Okay? This is where you would begin. Mm-hmm. That would be an important endeavor. Okay? Before learning about where your Nikes are made from, you know what I mean? Which particular country Ralph Lauren is using, you know, the multiple countries Ralph Lauren is using and what they're doing in those countries. Right? The fabrics of the clothing, all these things. But there is always something we're dealing with of a major scale that we know the least about. And so the truth is our decisions are based on assumption. Okay? And the truth is when they are based on assumption of logic, when it goes too far, when we could have researched, then now we're dealing with belief. Okay? What I mean by bathing yourself with belief is because knowledge is infinite. So the things you don't know are always accumulating as belief on top of you because you're engaging in this world. So you have to constantly look at what you're doing though and bathe yourself with the beliefs that you are dealing with and work from there. Okay? And that means also challenging yourself to the things that you are pretty sure that you know are true but have not shown and proven completely yet. And that includes this. Who is that is never going to be completely proven. Okay? And if the original man is God, then it can never be completely proven. Okay? It is an endless proof. Okay? And that's a good thing. Right? We're always here. It's endless proof. Knowledge is infinite. Okay? So that's what I mean by bathe yourself of belief. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about anything? Now, I usually say this in the classroom, these three things, because people don't, as I said, people don't always take notes well. I'm getting lucky because I'm giving you notes here. You watch it later. Right? You go check on it. But it's important that we learn how to take notes. It's important that when we read literature, when we read books, that we take notes of the passages that are sparking ideas and noting them. Okay? This is why a lot of times creative people, the MCs, the writers out there, the thinkers, they kind of get more of a workout in developing these questions and challenging their belief systems in any parameter, is because they're constantly jotting down the ideas of what they are thinking, the ideas of what they are building on. Okay. Okay. Now I'll take a moment here so that way people can ask me any questions. I just got a question, and I'm going to answer it though. See if anybody wrote anything down here. All right, let me know you're alive. Okay. I just got a very interesting question. Of course, though, as usual with the Muslim goddery, they want to bring it back here. And we have to now defy again one of the most stupidest things that I've ever heard, the oxymoronness of Muslim goddery. Okay? It's like people that can't choose an ice cream flavor. Right? Okay, I'm looking through this question. All right, so let me read this question here. Okay? Yeah, infinite minus a lot. And Gregory Brigard, why does that name seem familiar? You are in the Peace Corps group, aren't you? Yeah. There's a million names. I know. I may have seen that. But anyway, I don't want to belabor that. Ah, okay. Give me your righteous name. That way I remember it, because I'm trying to scroll through the Peace Corps group, but I'm not finding it. Let me copy and paste this. I want to put this in there so that way people see the context of this question. I shared this on this link that we are now on Facebook, and somebody that argues with me, this Amin Sadat Black, he has argued the validity. That's Peace Corps. Anyway, Amin Sadat Black Axe. Let me get his name actually. I think. Let's see. Black Axe. I'm gonna paste it in the comments here. Okay, so that answer was a little long. Past 200. Let's see if I cut it up a little bit into two parts. Okay. Editing. Okay, teaching 10%. The reason I'm going through all this is because especially with this brother, it gets me a little tired answering the same shit again and again. This is where I feel like people just have an agenda as opposed to actually critical thinking. Because I question your critical thinking with this Muslim goddery. I really do. You know, and it shows that there's very little critical thinking. Okay? All right, so Amin said that black. That way, if you're watching the video, you don't look through the chat or anything like that. He says, he's quoting obviously the degree. Who's the 5% in the poor part of the planet Earth? This is what his degree says. Answer: they are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, and are all wise and know the truth. Oh, excuse me. I'm reading what he has, and who the living God is. Sounds awkward there. And teach that the living God is the Son of Man, the Supreme Being, the Black Man of Asia, as Black Man in parentheses, that's Asia, and teach freedom, justice, and equality to all the human families of the planet Earth, human family of the planet, otherwise known as civilized people, also are Muslim and Muslim sons. Then he says, my question is, if being a Muslim God is blasphemy, then why is it in the lessons? Where does it say it is in the lessons? It says, civilized people, also Muslim and Muslim sons. It doesn't say, otherwise known as civilized people, Muslim gods, and Muslim sons. So I'll wait though. I'll wait till you go back in time. You rock the flux capacitor and go back in time though. Okay? And then you go you could go fix the DeLorean with Fard, aka the mothership, and then you could change it, and it could read Muslim gods in it. You cannot submit and then be the true and living God. Okay? One, as Elijah taught it. I'm going to say this again. As Elijah taught it. We're on loop here. As Elijah Muhammad taught it. 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 You are a Muslim. One who submits. Look at my hands. Submits. Okay? Submit. Okay? Submit to the will of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Master Fard Muhammad, wherever you see it. Master Selfie Time, Master Fard Muhammad. You are not the true and living God. The one you're taking a selfie with on the mothership, that's the true and living God. According to what you were taught. Submit to the will of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. If Master Fard Muhammad was here and you said you was a Muslim God, he would tell you, you better pick what you are. You going to submit to me, or you going to be rocking, acting like you one of me? Which part is it? Okay? Because even he wouldn't know what team you on. Okay? Are you walking behind me? Are you walking next to me? Where are you at? Even he don't know. He come back in the mothership. You riding, you mind Chewbacca, or are you back there shooting the guns? Huh? What are you doing? Okay? Peace to God. Right? So the thing is this, right? At the time that the lesson was written, the 5% of those who know who the true and living God and teach that the almighty true and living God is the Son of Man, the Supreme Being, Black Man of Asia. Okay? That's what the 5% is. They know who the true and living God is, and they teach who the true and living God is. Doesn't say anywhere in that degree, though, that everyone that's a 5% is the true and living God. It says that the 5% are the ones that know and the ones that teach. The degree says the ones that know and the ones that teach. The ones that know. I'm going slow. Know and the ones that teach. The ones that know and the ones that teach make you a 5%. Nowhere in that degree it says that the 5% are just the gods. There could be anybody that knows and teaches who I am. Me, God. If you're a Muslim God, who the hell are you praying to? Okay? It's like it's like a black version of Taxi. Like, are you in the mirror going, you talking to me? Are you talking to me? You talking to me? You the God? I'm praying. Are you praying to me? Are you Muslim God? Are you praying to me? It's an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron. That's why it lends itself to all of the jokes in the universe. Okay? Okay? It lends itself to all the jokes in the universe. It is an oxymoron. Okay? It is an oxymoron. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? We would think, Supreme Scientist, that after all that massive amount of literature, and I remember that massive text that you wrote, and they still did their copying of the Farrakhan smiling face. You know, never trust somebody that be smiling when they build it. Okay? Unless you Farrakhan, I'm not trying to hear you. Do not smile while you're building about something serious. Okay? Don't be going, well, you know, because we are Muslims and the black man is good. Don't do that smiling shit. Show and prove. Okay? Show and prove. We got here, you call a degree, you got a little bit different. It says they are the poor righteous teachers who did not, I'm doing mine, who did not believe in the teaching of temples and were all wise and know the true and living God is, and teach that the almighty true and living God is the Son of Man, supreme being, black man of Asia. He teaches freedom, justice, and equalities of all the human families. That could be anybody, okay? That could be anybody, though. Then we just see Carmelo's out there. He's teaching everybody. Dribble this ball, though. Teaches the black man is God. You don't care where you dribble that ball, okay? You find out he'll have Steve Nash teaching the black man is God. Now Steve Nash is the God. Said civilized people would be people that know a truth and teach that truth. Muslims and Muslim sons. These are all people that were known as 5%. They commonly had these titles. We deal with understanding in the present day of title. And the truth is, if we had it in the present day, Muslim God does not fit into this degree at all, because y'all ain't teaching who the true and living God is. Y'all ain't teaching that. You were not teaching that. Okay? You were teaching confusion. And it's about time you stop and look at what you're doing, and you just want to flip-flop between both. Okay? Shit, I wish I had a good old camera, though, when you get your mothership down here and see that slap on the head fart is going to give you for talking that shit. He said, you pick a side or you leave this and become Allah himself. Slap you up the side of the head. Elijah Muhammad said if Jesus came back, it would be disgusting. He would be coming out of the ground in pieces and stuff. And y'all waiting for Fard and Elijah and the mothership. Shame on you. Shame on you. Is that how Dianetics works, though? You make up a concept to ease the stress of things? Make up concepts where everybody's everything? Right? You know what that is? That's trans building. You know what I mean? Right? I'm gonna write that. Muslim God is trans building. That's trans building. Okay? Yeah, it really is. We don't have no problem with the trans. If you want to be confused about what you are and always change or what you want to do and be this and be that, wherever you want to go, you're not decided, you're not this, you're not that, that's fine. You know? But now when I see a Muslim God, I see him as trans. He's a trans builder. He don't know where he's building. He's not sure if he's building or destroying. He's in flux. He's in flux. Okay? So now that I keep building on this and showing and proving, now I'm going to look at you as a community that I should respect as people that have that issue. So now I'm not going to go into it and say, you got to choose one and make you choose. I'm not going to make you choose anymore. If you're a Muslim, that's understand. I understand this trans building community. It's trans, right? We're not going to discriminate against trans, okay? I'm trans. Y'all is undecided though. You could want to be one day, one be one another day. You know what I'm saying? That's fine with me. The mothership's coming one day, the other. We'll respect and let the trans community build how they want to be. Brother, you cannot be submitting to Allah. That's a 5% version of taxi though. You of a new black Robert De Niro staring in that mirror, crazy. Okay? Crazy. It's no such thing. And that lesson you quoted does not say Muslim God in it. It does not refer to Muslim God. And it doesn't matter if they said otherwise known as civilized people, also Muslim sons, bodegueros, salsa musicians. If it said anything, it didn't matter what it said though. These are names that people that knew about the truth and taught the truth, they were commonly known under these names. It doesn't say that any of these names are people that took on the title of who the true and living was. That's not what that lesson says. 5% is about the teachers of the truth, not who is the truth of what the 5% is a teacher. That's why even a righteous white man is in that degree. Because he could be in that degree if you want to call him Muslim son or civilized people, which I prefer in this day and time. Civilized man. Okay? But right now, I'm going to deal with it as a trans community. There we go. Now, he's answering me on the Facebook. I mean, I don't know why you don't have a YouTube account, but look, I'll read your comment. You said, my dear brother, I hope you're not smiling when you're answering this stuff. I'm listening to you right now, and you are intelligent, brother. Thank you. But you are sure you know what the word Muslim means. I thought the definition was one that is righteous, not one that submits. Okay. In all religions, okay, all religions, their terminology is one that is righteous. Okay? So is a Christian. All right? Now, what I read to you, if you were watching this class long enough, the definition of Muslim gave was its etymology, the history of the root of that word. Okay? The definition of Muslim is a follower of the religion of Islam. Okay? What's more important, though, is the definition of Muslim that Elijah Muhammad gave. That is the blasphemous aspect that, you know, and honestly, it bugs me out how NOI isn't pissed off about this because they just want clicks. They're going for clicks. They're going for more people in this shit, more people knowing about it, being cool again than they are, and saying they're not teaching what we teach. We don't teach that. And that also would make them hypocrites because they are teaching Dianetics and all this other stuff. So they have lost their footing, and now they have to accept trans builders, okay? And that community of trans builders, all right? And you, boy, we're gonna go into mathematics because it's an important tool for you to use in today's mathematics, okay? And we'll build in general what that is because that's always important for a newborn to know, okay? But what I'm saying here is this. The definition of Muslim is one who is a follower of the religion of Islam. Real simple. Okay? And the etymology goes back to what I had said before. Go look it up on this thing, or you could go online. It said one who professes Islam, and the etymology is one who submits to the faith. Okay? From the root of aslama, which means he resigned, meaning he gave up, he submitted. Okay? We don't submit to ourselves. We acknowledge ourselves because we were always here. So there's nothing we have to submit to. We are not schizophrenic where we are submitting to another entity of ourselves. That's why teaching about the higher and the lower is a very, very dangerous aspect of building. Because every time you screw up, you can justify and say it was your lesser. That's my lesser self. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was my lesser self. You know? I didn't mean to do all that kind of stuff. You know? That's not a logical aspect as well. But I mean, Sadat, I'm hardcore with it because you're telling me I'm intelligent, but you're not using the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that I'm sharing. Okay? You're not using it. Because people are not using it, then I think that they are confused and want to be all things at once because the responsibility of being a true and living God over all things is a little bit too immense, though. But you were causing confusion. Okay? You were causing confusion. Neither the NOI Muslims nor Allah and his 5%ers in the very beginning wanted to keep Muslim names because they didn't want that confusion of what it was technically that they were being and teaching, and also the confusion to the outer world of who we were versus anyone else on both sides. And this Muslim goddery, though, is in disrespect to that. But since no one is getting it, though, I'm going to assume these are grown men that either are doing devilishment and those falling victim to it are part of this now trans-building community. Okay? And I will not discriminate as hard as I will not discriminate. Okay? But I will let you know. It's not right and exact. Okay? Again, last week, I spent a lot of time saying mathematics is not a spell. Okay? You don't go, today's mathematics is wisdom equality. Okay? My ways and actions and the balance of all things when it is known, merging with my ways and actions becomes build. And now things are built. And then now that's a spell to activate and throw out into the universe. Okay? Mathematics is not a spell. Okay? It's a way of seeing the development of all the things that you have created when you look back. Because mathematics is the law and order of the universe. Right? But it's good notes. Mathematics is law. Math magic. Yeah, they got a lot of math magic. You know, they do things. It's a spell and shit. They go, today's math is wisdom. God will being born to build, and it's true. You know, and that takes away from the other aspect of the student that we need. The aspect of the student that is an innovator, one that is challenging. If they are not able to challenge, then they're not in a good teaching cipher. The teaching cipher is a laboratory of experimentation, and the student has to be comfortable to be wrong about things and also be comfortable to innovate things that are great. And even that teacher may not completely ungrasp, but they can show and prove it to him. Okay? But supreme mathematics is the law and order of the universe. That is creation. Okay? What it means to you as creator, then supreme mathematics is nature, which you are creator. Simple. So everything is based on mathematics. Everything has its exact specification. So everything can be judged and weighed by mathematics, and that can be a language to acknowledge and detail the ways and actions that have all been completed. But it also is a way of seeing the development of your mind and how you will project that into thought and into builds that go into the outer world as culture. Right? So okay, I was copying notes. I don't want to lose track of the notes. Although I didn't write Muslim God is trans building. That's my own. It's really funny though. Is it alright if I take a little moment there? It's a good one. But anyway, the when we build on the day's mathematics is that we are acknowledging that whatever system it is that we are using to judge time, and we are using time though to what? To weigh all things in circumstances. It is a field of operation. It is created in the mind. So that means that when we have any calendar, we can use any calendar, any system of consistent time. In this case, the Gregorian calendar. Okay. So in that, though, we deal with today's mathematics, saying today is the 26th, and we look at it up in the mathematics, say it's wisdom, equality, and we're born it, all being born, which is really the phatic system, right? So it could lend itself to going into the religiosity of numerology at any moment. Okay? Okay? So we have to be careful how we use these things. And as we build with them, and we start to deal with that, then we start to realize that once we build in a certain kind of way, we're looking at the way that we are building each and every day, and we're seeing our principles as created. How do we create? What are the facets of creation? And then how do we create? And what will be the way we will lay out how we will create? And then the principles by which we will create are all in mathematics. And by focusing on a particular day, we can focus on a particular principle. That doesn't mean that we will make every single principle activate. That also is using it as a spell. Okay? Today is not the day that all the wisdom equality that you have ever thought has to zig into action today. Okay, that's not what that means, though. It means that you focus on these principles each time, right? Peace, Hakim. Right? See you out there as Detroit Black, right? Peace, God. And the thing about it is, when we build with the day's mathematics, it is our way of looking and plotting what we intend to do, and also looking back at what we have done, things that we do remember. What might we remember today? You know, if you're building at the beginning of the day, you might be thinking what you intend to do in recognition of these principles that align themselves as wisdom, and then equality, born, build. What statement does that make as far as principles? And then, if you're doing it at the end of the day, you might look back and say, did this principle manifest? How could this principle help me see things that I didn't see during the day? Okay? But again, you have to be very careful that you are trying not to fit insights to the reality. Right? That's really important. You know? That's when it becomes a spell and a magic book, you know? You're trying to fit these spells and look at it like that. You know, the only thing, the truth is that nothing is going mathematically. We go, I acknowledged it. 1, okay, I'm at the wisdom stage. 2, it only goes when you break things down. Mathematics is how something is created, and it is broken down into awkwardly into 10 parts that in reality are kind of merged together and aren't really separated. I'm separating them for analysis and detail. Okay? So, as the father was a great teacher, this was his master pedagogical work. This was and is the ultimate teaching tool. It's a teaching tool. Okay? It's a teaching tool that is right and exact, can be proven to be right and exact, has been and continues to be proven to be right and exact. But it's a teaching tool. Okay? It is not for you to use as a spell, you know? Just because you had today's mathematics, maybe you're gonna crumble and fail throughout the whole thing. It's not the way it goes. It is you making reality, not your knowledge of supreme mathematics. Okay? Just because you know supreme math and what goes together doesn't mean that now you've come up with the spells that give you a key to everything. Oh, if it was that simple. Okay? If it was that simple. This takes some machination. You will have to use your imagination to machinate all this together. Okay? So, Hugo, I hope that I have described it enough for a beginner. There is a plus lesson that I will email you on that. Okay? Because I'm writing in my notes now. I have to email. I definitely know I have to email Supreme. Okay, let me write here. Emails to go out. This helps me a lot when I write this. Emails, email Supreme. And I have to email you. Okay. All right. And again, I don't know your age and stuff, right? But these exact same. I don't know your age, but when all this blows over and either half of the population is withered away, unfortunately, or we have overcome this though, and the white man is struck out again though, in his gross failures in bloodsucking, and we have triumphed again. I don't know your email, guy. Gotta email me. Yeah, let me put my email. Anybody, listen, you don't have to be my student. If you're online here and there's a book that you want, this whole class is digital and it's access to a very large library. So if there's a book you're looking for, and if you're into digital books, whatever, I want to share my resources to people so they can use it. Okay? Okay, that's peace. How old are you? How old are you? But you definitely need to find a way to go to a law school in Medina or a law school in Mecca when you have the chance and when things permit them. Okay? Hakim, I know you. Usually the student, I ask them to email me and for them to be proactive. Hakim, my brother, I know you for years, so I'm going to deliberately email you on purpose. That is not something I am affording to anyone else. Okay? Okay. All right. I'll email you some books and materials and plus, I mean, yeah. So you're already a grown man though. So like, you grew up around the God, so now is your time to actually get it solid though. So I'm gonna give you some stuff to read and work. If many of us are stuck at home though, not knowing what to do, I want you to constantly keep reminding yourself that the pace that you are learning is unsuitable. If any time that you think your pace of learning is suitable, that's when you stop learning well and your pace weakens. Okay? I don't want you to be content. Okay? I want you to forever be discontent. The pace, the quality of learning. Okay? That's what makes a student of intensity. Okay? Right? Anything else though, what will happen is that you'll really be doing yourself a great disservice though, thinking that you've got it all made. Okay? Right? And I definitely don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, no doubt, guys. No doubt. No doubt. If anybody that's online, if they make music, if they're interested in music, if they have horrible beats and they think they can rhyme and they know better, contact the guy Hakim Shabazz, because Hakim Shabazz makes great beats. Do a little research on him. Okay, he has a 100% percentage in illness. He doesn't have any weak beats. So absolutely contact the guy. You know what I mean? The thing is, I want everybody to continue either be learning, creating. This is what I simplify my life to. Okay, and I want you to simplify things. Right? For me, this is an immense amount of books. Read, write, train. An immense amount of books. An immense amount of writing. An immense amount of martial arts training. This is what I do. And I repeat, I reconfigure, and I repeat. And this is the lifestyle. But read is also do the knowledge. So are you constantly aware of what you're doing the knowledge to? Okay? Right? Are you constantly aware of how you decide to develop your talents? Right? And this time we can develop talents or search for talents, right? Or search for talents, right? If it's not right, how do you express yourself? In other words, right? The talents And what about the talents which self, right? And then lastly, the train. Right? Not everybody's going to be in martial arts, but you damn well better know how to defend yourself. And let me tell you something. What is the martial art of today? And I mean literally today, like right now. Martial art of today. It's our immune system. How strong are we? Start. I see all this great thing. I even took part at the push-up challenge though, which is hardly just the beginning of the training. I noticed that my brothers were doing the push-up challenge and all that kind of stuff. We're just having fun with this stuff. Do you know how much training that all those brothers that we're doing the challenge with we do? 50 push-ups, 50 in the clip is a small bit of the amount of work that we do when we train. But this is the beginning. If you're not, then you have to start building up the immune system with developing a routine indoors, okay? Outside of the gym and indoors is important now. Oh, Hakim, I know you write some stuff. Word. Now, Kurt, I want you to keep practicing because listen, a lot of brothers are doing 50 push-ups. So now I don't have my video, but when you saw my video, there's a reason I did it twice. Okay, now I had trained for 2 hours and then I still did that. To show you how much I trained. But when I did it though, I wanted them to be true push-ups, all the way down, bumping the chest slightly, going all the way up and locking the elbow. Okay, locking the elbow carefully, flexing that tricep. Okay. Flex that tricep all the way up, all the way down. Okay? So even though these push-up challenges go 50 in the clip, all that kind of stuff, all the way up. Okay? And don't go for numbers because then you'll lock it up and hurt your elbow. You want to lock carefully and flex. You're locking not so you hit the elbow, but lock it so you're flexing. That's how you do the push-up. You're flexing that tricep and you're feeling it in that tricep, making it work, making everything work. If it's not, I would care that you did 10 true push-ups, doing nice and slow all the way down, nice and slow all the way up, and getting getting the negative out of it, than doing 50 all slop style. You know, that's good for numbers. That would post it on the Facebook, Instagram, and would look really dope. But you boys have a great day at work, okay? And tomorrow you come back in the video and check your email. I'll be emailing you, okay? This weekend, okay? As I have time this weekend, okay? Now, all right? And definitely, Hugh, wherever you're going to work, though, stay safe, stay healthy, stay guarded from this virus. We want you to be healthy and strong, okay, brother? That's real important, too, okay? If you're going out, though. These viruses always seem like Illuminati because they always affect the poor and the underprivileged, because we're always forced to have a large percentage of us still have to go out and do some kind of work. Okay, let me take a moment to copy some of the notes that I wrote here. I don't want any of it to get lost. As we go along, I want to detail things that I have done and everything like that. Now, when it comes to, let me give you a quick program though in the physical. You also want to look at what you're eating though. You want to use it. You want to take the condiments that are used inside the foods, you want to eliminate. So you only use your own condiments. So you want to eliminate things with sugar, salt, and excessive fats. And you want to have those things where you add them into the diet as opposed to them already being inside the foods you eat. You want to control that. That's why you want to make your own foods. If not, you want to deal with eating a better food, even if it's in the box or bag or not. Okay? But right now, I'm going to go through the physical aspect and leave you with some physical things. For the physical, though, what you want to do is if you're doing your push-ups and your calisthenics, though, you don't want to do them just for speed. what you really want to do is for muscle building. So you want to go nice and slow with your calisthenics. Right? Your calisthenics. I feel like I'm gonna write this one. Calisthenics. Right? Make sure your movements so you activate the muscles. You want to have muscle awareness. Activate the muscles. Right? Be aware of them. Right? And then you feel the flexing, the contraction. Right? That's what you do. Whether you do push-ups, dips, whatever. You want to work things. Your three main parts of your arm are going to be the bicep, they're going to be the tricep, and they're going to be the delt. All right? Your shoulders. Okay? So you target those areas. And also you want to target those areas, though, because you'll start to see progress with the shape of your body. And it'll be more fulfilling, though, if you start to look good when you do all this. You know what I mean? When you do all this workout, you do great, though, and you still look like shit. And you like, target the areas and look good while you're doing all this stuff. Right? You also want to engage in fat burning, but not any slow stuff. So if you're lucky and you can do it, right, you want to do one of the best calisthenic exercises, jump rope. And this is strictly stay-at-home stuff, right? Jump rope, let's say if you have a stationary bike and all that, let's not leave all that, right? Let's say we don't have anything. You still might be able to go order yourself a quick jump rope online, okay? Now, I'll tell you something. Jump ropes aren't something you want to bring out to the street because what I find is that the good jump ropes, I always use a leather rope, always breaks up on the concrete. But in the home that I live at, I have a porch, a back porch though, so I can train. It's very large. I can train, do kung fu, everything, in that large back porch, and the rope is hitting a wooden boards. Jump rope or some kind of hitch, some kind of like calisthenic, jumping high knee kicks, even jumping jacks. The key is though that you want to do them in the style of hit training. Okay, nothing else. Right? In the mode of hit training. Right? High interval intensity training. High interval intensity training. Even if you don't have a timer to time it and things like that, here's what you do. It's real simple. You take that rope, or you're going to jump rope, or you're going to jumping jacks. You go as hard as you can as hard as possible till failure, and that's that rep. Okay? Then you take a break, though. Count your break. Don't let it loosen up. Don't get too cold. Right? Give yourself a certain amount of seconds, and then dive right back into it. And you try to do it for a certain amount of time, like 10 minutes. That's what HIIT training is. You know what I mean? Now, for the abs, right? The crunches are good. The HIIT training is going to be great for your abs. Overall fat burning intensity is going to cut your stuff up no matter what. That's what you need. Crunches, crunches is a good thing as long as you're not yoking your neck. Okay? Being conscious of the muscle is what you want to do. You want to be conscious of the flex of the muscle. So even when you're doing that, if you're lucky enough to have some weights, home weights and all that kind of stuff, I always have a lot of weights and stuff like that. I'm lucky to have a bench and all that kind of stuff, then you use those kind of things. Hold the weight, do some crunches. Also do mountain climbers. Look that up on the YouTube later. Okay? Mountain climbers combine ab training with HIIT training. Because you gotta go fast for them to have effect. Okay? Right? There's a surefire way to combine both of them. All right? But sometimes with ab training, you want to think of many things. Especially if you don't have weights, because you'll lose like the intensity. And again, the key is the mentality, because the kinds of exercises you could find on the internet, all these fitness gurus, many of them good, many of them not. Right now, because so many people are being forced indoors, there's countless videos to look through for actual indoor workouts that you could try. So try them, because There's good, you'll find good exercise, but sometimes for every 10 good exercises for one part of the body, one person might find all good. Some people might find only 3 of them good. It depends what gets you going. So you have to find the ones that work for you. And that's why you have to constantly be changing and stuff if it's not working for you. Okay? So definitely, that's what you want to do. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. As a side note, Amin Sadat Black, who asked me about the Muslim Goddery. Are you familiar with the book by True Islam Who's God? Yes, I have. I have read it, though, and there's mystery in there, too. Okay? I read the whole thing. All right? All right? He is one of the proponents, a.k.a. Wesley Muhammad, of flip-flopping and then using mystery to advocate his cause. Okay? So he did not show and prove that the black man was God, so that we could just go and believe that Fard Muhammad did all this, did all that. Okay? So I don't know why, right? But instead of calling out devilishment, it is now known as the trans building community, right? So I'm not trying to see you guys as doing something inherently wrong, but certainly inherently harmful. All right? Let's leave it at that. Now, we're at the latter part of this, so well, actually, we got a good amount of time left, right? Okay? This class ends at 10 o'clock. I still have a consistent amount of brothers and sisters in here. If anybody wants any questions, if anybody, like, let's say I'm answering questions about this particular thing, right? Let's say I'm answering this. If it doesn't answer your question, or if you want to learn more about it, though, and you want to ask another question, just stop and ask me. Like, ask me now. And let's say if you have a particular question and you're stumped about whatever it is, training, whatever it is I'm talking about, and I don't answer it all here, though, feel free to live chat in it, because if we're to do this like an ideal classroom, though, everyone that's here, I would be going in. Trans building born is what I am calling anyone that's saying that Muslim gods are a real thing. Okay? They want to flip-flop. They want to be both things at the same time. They cannot figure out what they want to be and how they want to build. And I'm going to lump them all in one community. And it is a queer community to me because it's weird to me. So it is the trans building community. Okay? They're trans. They're figuring it out. And they are all over the place. Okay? And they are eventually have become detrimental to other peoples. Okay? Now, good question, boy. You missed that part of it. You have to go back and see what I said about the answer to the question somebody was asking me on the Facebook. But clarity thing. You know why it's a big deal too? One of the things that the Father gave was not so much making everybody become something. Be God, be earth, you're this, you have to be this or that. People teaching this and teaching this in the hoods, they did that. Yeah, boy, yeah, definitely. You get that first class seat, yeah. I don't know how you're gonna pay for that though. But the thing about it is that one of the things that Allah the Father was always trying to do was have a clarity on who a person is and who he decides to be. Have a clarity of what they intend to be and how they intend to express themselves. And that sincerity is something that is really being lost. It is really, really being lost. And that's something that I can't accept. Okay? So that's where I'm at with that. All right? Okay, I'm gonna give a minute for everyone to maybe recuperate from what I've been saying, but also come out with some new ideas, questions, and guidance that they would like. If not, I will go into my bag of tricks and continue to build. Right? And okay, let's see. There's some others. Yeah. Also, another thing I thought was important here, the teaching I always have, when we learned, right? When all of us, Sanbao brothers, and all of us learned kung fu from our Seagung, Bobby Whitaker, we were all building against the gods. We were all building. There was a book that was circulated to me, and it was given to me as a book to begin with to learn Qigong, and it wasn't a Qigong book, but it was a book that was much more simple to get us into it, and that was the science of breath. Yogi. If I spelled that right, he's so amped. Let's see. Yeah, I really am. And I'm trying. I really spelled it right. Let's put that up there. That book I have is available to anyone. If they really want to go online and can't wait, they can find it online. But it teaches the science of breath, but through the yogi tradition. Okay, that is not the tradition of Chinese kung fu or qi kung. It is not from that tradition. But the breath exercises are exceptional and based on the aspect of prana. Indeed, like him. Peace to the God. And 2 L's, love and loyalty, right? And the reason I say that is because I'm going to teach you the complete breath right now. Okay? Some of the people, they're like, we have to get our immune system strong. And what they forget, though, is that we can immediately begin to eat right. And some people are like, yo, I've eaten wrong. It's too late. Armageddon is here. I suck. I have eaten lousy. I'm done. Whatever happens, happens. But the truth is that in your daily life, even if you have to go outside, you should be doing what I'm going to teach you now, because it is going to be useful. Because just like I'm telling you to build up your body, this is also part of the build-up, right? The complete is the simple foundation of the breathing exercise that one should normally breathe as. So every time you become aware of your breath, you should start going back into this, right? And it's about strengthening the lung. The lung is a muscle. So if we're treating everything in the immune system, then what we want to do is we want to treat the lung. So I'm trying to sit as straight as I can, right? And you can't really see it here, right? So I get the shirt pressed down, right? We have the chest here, we have the mid area here, and we have the belly here, okay? So what we want to do, right, is you have three compartments, and the simple parts of the complete breath. The complete breath is the lung, strengthening. I'm teaching you now without even giving you the book yet. If I give you the book and everything, or you go find the book, you're going straight to it so you can use it immediately. You can practice this when you're lying down and all these things like that, right? So strengthening. First, you got the parts we're dealing with, the parts of the lung, right? Broken down into three parts, right? So we break. Pardon me, I'm trying to copy all this down. Break down the lung into three. I'm fixing the grammar because I'm talking and I'm talking like writing like I'm talking, which is awkward when I'm writing. So I have to fix it so it's appropriate on both planes here. Break down the lung into three parts. This is how they break it down, okay? This is not the anatomical structure technically of the lung, but we are breaking it up in how we breathe using the lung. Okay? So there's three parts. We'll just look at it as the upper, let's call it the upper chest, right? Upper chest, pecs, right? The pectoral. Then we have the mid, right, which is the ribs. And then we have the lower, which is the stomach. We'll just leave it real simple. Okay? Right? That's the reason I'm doing it like this. So that way it is very simple when we deal with it, because I want you to deal with it simply and not think it's so complex. It'll be easier to practice when it's this simple. Okay? So now you have the upper, mid, and this is my rib, and then the stomach. Okay? And then what we do is the perspective. The perspective is now to realize that the Western world, especially, breathes through only the upper chest. Okay? This is most of us. When we catch ourselves, we'll be doing this. Okay? Right? Now, what we want to do is reformat the way we think. So we want to look at it from a cup. Mind you, I'm showing you what they say. A cup. See lung as a cup being filled. Right? So that means we reverse it from breathing up top. If it is a cup being filled, the air is filling up from the bottom to the top, from the lower to the mid to the upper, right? So we change the perspective, right? Changing perspective of how we take in air, okay? So here it is. When you're breathing, though, you want to fill up by a cup, and you think of the three parts so you can expand them. You can expand them in an exaggerated fashion, okay? You exaggerate. So you fill it up. That was the exaggerated fashion. Push out your stomach. Expand your rib. Fill up the upper. Okay? And exactly what Bourne said, I'm going to repeat. Learning, breathing, prana can calm the mind, heals the body, and invites clear thinking. Absolutely, Bourne. And let me tell you something. Bourne does not know this by just reading it, though. It's one of the people that lives this out. So he has known this for years. And he's taken this to many of the next levels. Okay? So what you're doing, though, is that I'm doing it awkwardly. But what you want to do is you want to develop it. You develop this 3-stage fill up cup style of breathing, right, into a pendulum of in and out complete breathing. Okay, so this is the awkward, be like, right, we push out the stomach, expand the rib, lift up the shoulder to get the upper. But when it flows, what you're really doing is, and mind you, you only breathe in through the nose. That is the filter. The mouth is not the filter. That's why we wear the mask. It's so important, especially over the mouth. You breathe in these germs, these virus germs outside through the mouth. It is in you immediately. That is the filter. The mouth is not the filter. So you may breathe out through either, but work on nose in only, and for now, nose out. Okay? So it goes like this. When we read pendulum, is that we develop the pendulum. You develop the pendulum swing, and it's going to give you a head rush and everything. That's why you practice it alone, right? So it goes now, relaxing, you're going. This kind of breathing is going to relax you. It's also going to head rush you. We're going to do all these things. But you can do it lying down. You can do it if you're on the train. You can do it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want to do it where the air, where you feel good. If you feel awkward doing it, like, and you feel nasty vibes, or, you feel like in your more germy area, like in the train and stuff, especially now in the city, or anywhere you're at, any city of America, the world, whoever's watching worldwide, then you don't do it then. And as soon as you get home and you bathe and everything and you clean yourself, then. And also this, keep your shoes clean. Keep your shoes away from the areas that you live in your home. Try to keep them by doorways, by stairways, right? Make sure that when you get home, though, you are bathing and changing your clothes, okay? Aside from just washing hands and stuff like that, okay? Oh, definitely, Kurt. Definitely makes you feel fresh, you know? And also, though, in these times where we're worried about germs, we're worried about, like my worry has been more so because I am confident in my immune system. My worry has been more about my father, has been my children. So all these things can stress you out. So what you want to do is get into that. And if you're really on your Qigong, the Qigong aspect, keep the tongue, touching the roof of your mouth. Okay? It's a little add-on. Okay? But just as the God said, like him, meditation helped me master my lessons, helped me clear my mind, making it easy to intake degrees. That's a real thing, though, because we kind of just need to take a breath and let things go. When you meditate, if you want to meditate and stuff, it isn't the lotus position, none of that. You don't have to do that. You just sit straight where your feet are in a comfortable position flat on the floor. Your back is straight. Put your hands at your knees. Try this breath so that way you have a little pendulum and you're comfortable, and just let thoughts go. Whatever comes, let it go. Just let it be. Let it do what it does. Don't get concerned with it. Don't get upset by it. Just let it all go. Okay? The first type of meditation is no mind. Okay? No mind. Okay? So you let things go. Okay? So now that we know the complete breath, we can work this into the times that we're free, the times that we need to de-stress. And then with the reading of the science of breath, you can understand more in depth into the science of why they came about with these exercises. And also try other exercises that can help you with different things, with power, development, and all of these kind of things. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions on it? Please, if you came in late, we'll have all these notes. This class will be online, uploaded online as soon as possible. So everything will be there for you to, What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this moment for you to develop your questions, copy some of these notes out of that, and put that in there. Okay? Definitely appreciate the useful understanding from Bowen and Rakim, because those are things that are really worthwhile that we all need to do it. You know what I mean? No one, all this stuff, when you get knowledge of yourself, all this kind of stuff, all that enlightenment stuff is all bullshit. Enlightenment is an ever-growing process. You know what I mean? Enlightenment is something that you constantly achieve. Okay? Which also means that the way life goes, you'll be stressed out and you'll be going through things as you go along. Okay? There's always certain things. There's always something else. Okay? But understand, though, that you have decided to be here. You have decided to build here. You have decided to continue to live. Right? So it's time to get the tools of building and start building with them. Okay? Let's see. I didn't check Twitter. I don't think I got any questions on Twitter. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, I do see some. I just bought the marzipan. It says too. Okay, marzipan. When you make a smoothie and you make things, I usually mix everything I have and stuff. You try things. Obviously, the different fruits and things like that. Here's what you do, though. You don't want to mix everything that you have, but what you want to do is mix things that will serve a purpose to what you need it for at that moment. So when you make smoothies, when you make some kind of blended drink, what you want to do is do something functional that is functional for what you intend to do. So the matcha powder is going to give you, the matcha powder is going to give you energy. Okay, so maybe in that smoothie you want to do fruit powders. If you get fruit powders, you know what I mean, like my favorite brand of fruit powder, it's very inexpensive and the most high quality I've had that exists today is Amazing Grass. That particular company I like a lot. The chlorophyll powders, of whether green chlorophyll or the red chlorophyll powders, to mix them all together. But yeah, it depends on what you have and what you want to do with it. I don't remember everything that you showed me in the picture, guy, of what you said you had gotten. So I will look really quick right now to see like what would blend. Okay, you got some kombucha. That's good. You know, goji berries and matcha powder are both really for energy, so they go blend well together. You know, they blend well together. Or goji berries aren't really gonna blend in your juice like that. You know what I mean? You'd have to blend them fine, but they do go. But is that a powder you got, or is it? No, it's just the berries themselves. You know, you could pop those in for energy, or you could just try to blend them in. You know. But again, you bought a lot of energy products, so they would go all fit. They would all blend well together, you know, and be for that, you know. What I've been drinking throughout this class, that was my favorite energy drink, is the yerba mate. Okay, and that's always been my favorite, you know, for energy. But yeah, fruits and other chlorophyll power, other greens and vegetables all blended together though. Yeah, you know, when you go on the website for Amazing Grass Brilliant Elevation, you can see what they put in there and everything. That's an excellent product. Because I've been using chlorophyll powder since like the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? So late 90s actually, late 90s. You know, 97, 96. So as long as I've been vegan. So I've been vegan since 96. So I've been using health food products since that time. So I've seen the quality of chlorophyll products and powder products and seen how they denature them and other companies hustle along the way. Amazing Grass is good. They give you, it'll cost, you can get it for like $30 and it'll last your whole month, you know? So $30 for 30 days though is an excellent buy for what would be a complete drink, you know, a complete power drink, you know. But peace to Priest Mussolini. That's what's up. Let's see. Let me see. There was another. Oh yeah, Brilliant Elevation. You asked me about the coronavirus, right? Well, coronavirus, but it's coronavirus. Yeah, definitely. I know what you meant though. But here's what I think. I think that it was eventual that with all these viruses, because people are getting older, there were new things that challenged the bodies, the immune system, as people are growing older in a very uniquely toxic environment. Every toxic environment that we encounter from the 1980s onward is unique in human history. We could gamble that is unique to human history because of the type of pollution, the type of cities that we built, and not by our specifications and the pollution that's involved and the destruction of the environment that's involved. So many factors lead into countless viruses happening. It only took a perfect storm of ineptitude, lack of resolve, everything that this president is about. Carelessness, foolishness, ignorance, all of these things that people are assuming that people really have their own thoughts and ideas of how they're going to do stuff. That's not really how it works. Okay? There's a lot of buffoonery that goes into this devil civilization. So the way I see this coronavirus, though, is that it's one of two things. We will either, I really don't see this society the way it's going now, especially America. We're talking about United States of America particularly. I don't see, and since this is the vanguard now where the virus is, and then also, unfortunately still a leader of the world, I don't see that we will get any type of allowances where we'll get money to stay home and things like that. None of that stuff. And I think that people would just break and they will have to go out there and get money, and society will have to keep going. And people really will have to change the way they deal with stuff. And because I don't think that this quarantine is being dealt with seriously. And I don't mean people like going out and playing only. White folk always rebel in their own society. They don't seek to build up and aid their own society that they have the privilege to fix themselves. But I don't think that this government itself is actually going to give people the chance to actually stay home and quarantine themselves. They're not going to give us the opportunity. They're going to starve us out. And that's really what Trump is trying to say. Like he's saying it like it's not him doing it, but because they're not going to give people the monies, they're not going to do all that. They're going to look out for them. They're not going to look out for the people. They're going to look out for corporations first. That's what corporations are always looked out for. They're always going to be okay. That's ingrained. We learned that in business school. I learned that back in 1994. Certain businesses that are crucial to the makeup of the United States of America, whether it be the framework or the psyche of the American citizen, if they go under, they are still helped no matter what. Okay? But what I think is that we are going to have to build up our immune system right now, absolutely build it up, and we can do it very fast. Okay? The body can adapt extremely quickly to the mentality of a warrior reality. Okay? We have shown that through history, and we've shown that now. And I think we're going to have to go out there and brave that new world like that. Okay? And continue to brave the new world. There are brothers and sisters out there already braving the world. But trust me, if everybody is forced to go out there, then it'll be a new world, even to those who are already out there. Okay? And we will have to fend. We will not be able to count on the hospitals to heal us. We will have to heal ourselves on our own. So all this stuff, all the things that I've been teaching them, being able to develop your immune system, build yourself up, be strong, work out consistently. And everybody's looking like, oh no, I don't have to. There's no enemies out there. There's no thing like that. And then I said this is what I always say. There's only two things happening. Okay? Only two things happening in the universe. This is a teaching I repeat, and I've always repeated. This is my understanding. That's it. It's the only thing that's happening. Okay? You are either of the mentality that you are always preparing for some performance, and it becomes so embedded in you that now your preparation is the performance itself. So now when it's time to actually perform out there, it is just like you have prepared for. Or you are so not into any kind of preparing that your performance is terrible. Okay? And people wondered all these years, why have I taught such a militant, extreme diet? A militant way of action as far as the warriorship of our physical bodies, expecting us to be in shape, expecting us to be able to do certain things. And he goes, well, we're not fighting any enemies. And look now. The enemy that we would fight, though, isn't even a physical enemy. It is based on how strong your insides are. Okay? The first book. If we're talking about books, though, the first one is the first book that I would give you. As a Man Thinker. These are books that I would give you. Okay. The Art of Peace. Okay. Definitely the sacred path of the warrior. Absolutely. I definitely co-sign. Co-sign. Right? Definitely co-sign. Right? But the thing is, though, is that the most important book to develop the warrior mentality, and I'm going to keep it real with you, is your journal. It's the most important book. You get that composition book. Okay, go get that mask on. If you get online and you order it, you order that mead composition book. You're not going to rip out the pages. You're going to write down what you were thinking, what you intend to be, what you will be, what faults you have right now, what you're going to do, what you haven't done, and you're going to make yourself become what you need to be. And you're going to write it down. You're going to question what you think, and you're going to question it and write it down. It is what you write in your journal that is going to make you the greatest warrior. All of these books will help, though. They give you a pat on the back and say, oh shit, that's true, I gotta remember that, this and that. But where As a Man Thinketh, where Art of Peace, where As a Man Thinketh becomes really true is when you start dealing with mathematics and you link them both. And when you link them both and write them in your journal and say, listen, As a Man Thinketh makes sense because as my thought, I am the sum of my thoughts because I did such and such. I did such and such, and I wrote it down here. It's you writing down how what he said was shown and proven by what you did, or what you did that no one else can write for you. That is going to be what the Warrior Journal is. It isn't going to come out now, okay? But I wrote my own martial art book that is based on this knowledge of self, and that's why I know that it is a book that you write that will be yours. Okay? This book that I write may help a lot of people. It may intrigue a lot of people. But it's your journal that sets it off. Just like The Art of Peace by Moriya Shiba. He will give you insights. One of the greatest warriors of our time. Easily. I'm saying this for people that study. Easily comparable to Bruce Lee as the greatest warrior of the 20th century. Easily. There's no way he doesn't rank at the same level, if not greater, if you want to argue all that stuff, than Bruce Lee in the 20th century. And just to show you how profound he is by comparing him to somebody else that is profound. That Art of Peace doesn't mean anything unless you go out, unless you get out there and into that time, that set time of training and actually build up the body for that particular purpose. Okay? Right? So that's important. That is definitely important. Okay? I'm seeing your question. I'm just trying to finish this thought, please, Mussolini, before I get into what you just said. But you're not going to see the Art of Peace in that militant warrior fashion that he expresses until you do the things that sacrifice your time, your energy, and your body to be that type of warrior as you design it to be. What workout will you do? What training will you do? What are those things? So all of that, though, is you. So you have to write down your own journal. But you also have to make your own journal of life instances as well. Okay? Absolutely, yeah. It's a fast read, guy, but it's also a slow read, right? Depending on how you take it, though. Sometimes some paragraphs could leave there in days. Other times you'll fly through it. But it's a good question. increasingly you say peace. You say a part of me wants to withdraw liquid cash out. Okay, that's like, you know, digital cash and all that kind of stuff, right? And do you think it would be a good reflection of the wisdom applied in these times? I wonder if the economy is about to halt and freeze. I think it's smart to have also physical cash on you, also digital cash, though. But let's not forget, though, that the virus is killing people. It is not destroying the framework of the digital empire and everything like that. And also, too, one thing, though. America ends up being the vanguard as the hype man, but it's not really the vanguard of most things. Most of the world is already all digital already, and most of the world is so much farther digital as far as money than we are, like China and stuff, you know. So everyone is already using everything digital, you know what I mean? And almost nothing is bought by cash, you know what I mean? Physical cash, you know. I think that we have to continue to be strong with what we're doing. I don't think the society is at the point of even crumbling. It is the point of the amount of people that will be in the society. I mean, and this is what's withering away. But the structures are still here. Nothing has really compromised the structures. It's just the availability. You know what I mean? And the truth is that probably one of the ways, let's be honest, that to better the society, to make it more functional, will have to be to digitize it even more. And that doesn't mean to actually make it, but to actually allow it, okay? Most people can work from home or work remotely, but companies don't let them, you see? So they'll have to switch that up, though, especially with viruses like this. And I don't think that this will be the last, okay? We can't fool around anymore. The truth is that the real calling card has nothing to do with what they did or anything like that. Okay? The truth is people are surviving the virus and people are not surviving the virus. So that means that the number one action, though, is the fortitude of your mental strength to allow your immune system to be stronger. And then doing those things to get the immune system stronger, being stronger literally. This is why this is mainly something that attacks the lungs. We have to attack with exercises that provoke intense cardio, build exceptional muscle, which is the frameworks of exercise. And then we also have to work on the lung with that complete breath and really build up the lung and treat our lung like a muscle and not just a place where the weed goes in. Okay? We have to build up that lung muscle. Okay? Absolutely. You know, the martial art book that I wrote and is going to be published in a year or two, it's already done. It's to have others that I want before. I wrote the body of it, like 95% of it, by the end of 2005. And that's how old this is. The way I wrote the book was in the mentality of expressing, just as Kung Fu expresses, is the art, as Bruce Lee said, is the art of expressing the body. I would train and get my body stronger, train in the martial arts, and then write. And it led me to understand that when you build up the body, it also accentuates and allows you to express yourself in other forms. Okay? Because this is the vessel that we chose. We chose this vessel. Okay? The Supreme Mind chose the arm, leg, arm, head to express the supremacy. The true and living God is the master of all realms, including the finite and infinite. This finite realm is how we are mastering this finite realm in this supreme body. Okay? Lakim's 100% right. A strong mind needs, not with desire or benefits, needs a strong body. Okay? So now, we're about 5 minutes, 5 minutes off. I want to leave. It's almost 10 o'clock, but I will leave when this live says 3 hours. So we have less than 5 minutes, about 4 minutes. Anybody that has any quick question or anything, again, this curriculum comes digitally. I want everybody to email me. I'm going to write that email again. That's why you don't have to fish through everything. to go back, wait till it goes online, all that kind of stuff. You can watch this again and scroll through. You know, I don't have the time to like timestamp everything. I really don't have the time to do all that. There's so much work that I'm doing. But if you're out there and you have time to read and you don't have books and you don't know what you're reading, or you don't have enough books and you can't read, you can't concentrate, there's enough material for you to have out there. Okay, have enough material for you to gauge. I read about 10 to 15 books all at the same time. Different subjects. I glide from subject to subject, all that kind of stuff. I'm writing all different type of things, articles, books, and my journal are things that I'm always hopping through. Okay, and flip-flopping through. Okay, so there's always something. What are you reading? What are you doing analysis? What are you writing? How are you expressing yourself? What are you how are you training? What are you developing? What talents are you developing? These are things in this time, if we're stuck at home, if we're feeling trapped at home, this is what we need to do, because where you would develop yourself is in this laboratory. And some of us, though, we got lucky in some respect, because we haven't used the time that we have alone properly. Okay? So, Gregory, all right, I see your email. I have it. I started. Hugh Boyd, I started. And, of course, Supreme, I got you. Okay? And Gregory, where are you from? I'd like to know where people are from. Where are you from, Gregory? I'd like to know. And I said that before, but if you're from the 5 boroughs and you never came through the school and stuff like that, it's not chastising and stuff. It just didn't happen and stuff. Okay? But that doesn't mean that it was okay, or not. I mean, yeah, you're from P.E.A.C.E, Kentucky. I don't even know if I said that right. Right? Place I've never heard of. And it's beautiful. Right? So learn this right, though, because your job is not to go give it to everybody, but what your righteous duty is the way that you have learned to share it to someone that could use any aspect that you have learned so far. Okay, the things that you think that they could use. Don't go out there and go, hey, I'm the fire, I'm the God, so, that's not what we do. That's evangelizing. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. But as we approach this last minute, man, I want to thank everybody. As we go along, though, I might, when I get newborns and stuff, just like classroom, sometimes it gets repetitive. I might say the same things over and things like that. I want you to see the nature by which I share things and study my pedagogy. If you hear things I've already said, okay? And if you need me to answer to more newer things, then ask away. That's what this is for, okay? And you can ask me about anything. There really is nothing that I won't answer, okay? If you just want to learn, anything, okay? Absolutely, a great time to build with the seeds, right? Definitely, but absolutely do this, With that said, I want to say peace to all the gods and the earths, all the righteous people in the universe, my low-life brothers, my family, right? From Rakim all the way down to everybody else building out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay building. Just like the Kobe acronym, keep on building everywhere. Okay? Keep on building everywhere. Okay? All right? And with that said, I'm going to say peace. And anything else, though, you can contact me on all the social media. The honorable name, Edward Sunez Rodriguez on Facebook. Sunez, number 7, Sunez7 on Twitter. Sunez, Sunez, by itself on the Instagram. You can DM me, any of those things. You guys want to talk about hip-hop, anything else. I haven't done my shows, my hip-hop shows. I might do some streaming about hip-hop stuff, and you can ask away about all that kind of stuff. So I forgot Smells Good's name. Peace, brother. Kerr, my brother Kerr, peace. Gregory, peace. Rakim, peace. Everybody that's on the stream, all the other people that's on, I want to thank you. Peace.